So, good day everyone. I am Gashner Faith A. Bulawin, reporter of Chapter 3, Selecting the Vendors. So, sa akin ng vendors, evaluating the proposal is very important. Sa outsourcing team will need to take some time to review each one and evaluate. So, sino yung vendor na karapat-dapat sa desired service? The time period allotted for proposal review and evaluation typically ranges from 2 to 8 weeks. So, there are steps in evaluation for selecting key criteria, identifying who will be asked to participate in ranking of vendors, establishing the scoring system, weighing the key criteria, and implementing final sign-up procedures. So, sa pagpili ng selecting vendors, first is, let's discuss the evaluation criteria in next slides. The respondent, scoring, weighing the criteria, tallying the ballots, and final selection process. Sa evaluation criteria, pinaka-importante ito or top priority because evaluation process is helpful to prepare a list of criteria on which to judge the vendor under proposal. So, dito nakapaloob yung pag-judge kung karapat-dapat ba yung proposal nila. And nandito yung list sa pag-reflect the customer's list of objective for outsourcing. Sa example ng key criteria are the proposed solution. Nandito ba yung proposed solution nila? Ability to deliver services, ability to implement new methodologies or technology. So, may new methodology ba sila na i-offer or technology? Like, for example, they were flexible enough ba or innovative? Ability to meet performance standard and value-added services, like for example, they provide incentive mechanism. Mag-provide ba sila ng incentives and final proposal, like for example, or financial proposal, like for example, may variable pricing ba sila, mayro nakapaloon ba dun sa evaluation process nila is cost saving ba, may saving commitment ba. The expenses as well, dapat nandun, the vendor's reputation or goodwill, and vendor's experience sa pag-outsource ng kanilang product, and the vendor's flexibility or the vendor's enough to be resilient in terms nga may adjustments ka ng service and fees and so on and so forth, and keeping abreast of industry development. So, ayun. So, sa term and conditions as well, the property rights, the third-party consent as well, the amenities, the insurance, and right to terminate, and so on and so forth. Human resource. They do, They do give enough salary or nakapaloob ba sa kanila yung pagbigay ng tamang sahod, health benefits, bonuses, deductible, saving plans. So, sa respondents, once the outsourcing team agrees on evaluation criteria, the customer should rank the vendors based on their fulfillment for the criteria. So, ang ibig sabihin nito is the vendor may fulfillment ba sila to meet the demand or to meet the criteria itself. The ranking can be done via formally or informally. So, sa scoring system should be established. So, it ranks from 4 to outstanding. Kung sabihin natin 1 is equivalent to 4, 5 acceptable, and 10 outstanding. Sa pag-weigh ng criteria, may iba't ibang weighing kasi. Sa technical solution and human resource, they do have different criteria. So, depende yun kung alin ang mas matimbang. One is greater than the other. So, customer engaging in more formal and evaluation process should consider weighing the criteria para mag-reflect sa importance ng given. So, a common approach for weighing the criteria is to assign a weighing of percentage to each general category. The total weighted score of the subcategory should then be inserted as row score for the general category. So, after mag-evaluate ng criteria, after sa respondents, after din i-weigh yung criteria, so ito na yung tallying the ballot. So, halimbawa, proposed solution is only 25% in weight. Ability to deliver service is only 25% in weight. Financial proposal is only 25% in weight. Term and condition, only 5%. And human resources, only 20%. And total of 100%. So, example ng mga tallying ballot. Dito yun, mga examples. Example din ito. So, last part is final selection process. Once the ballot had been tallied, the outsourcing team should finally look at the top vendor. Sino yung nasa taas? And then, they will sort out, the outsourcing team will sign off via informally, and some also have formal approval vote from senior and outsourcing team. So, sa next part is notifying the preferred vendor. After may napili na sila, so making announcement. Making announcement can be done via notification sa vendor na napili or the top vendor. So, it can be done via mail or via information. For example, ito is email. So, when making announcement, there should be the right to negotiate with the vendor. Refrain from making any promises. So, bawal yung mag-make ng promises. Identify key issues that must be resolved. Emphasize that all negotiation and communication are confidential. Everything must be confidential. Note that the vendor should not make statement to customer employees. Obtain commitment that the vendor will provide a top negotiating team and discuss the proposed schedule. So, after doon, part yun na negotiation nila is to propose the schedule itself. So, commitment and cost. Nandito yung the preferred vendor typically needs to have such personnel includes marketing representative, senior manager, proposed project executive, business expert, tax expert, legal expert, and so on and so forth para sa pag-develop ng negotiation or the business as well. So, letter of intent. So, yung letter of intent, nandito yung nakapaloob dito yung sets out the general objective of the parties. So, nandito yung objective. So, vendors typically want to include a provision, the letter of intent, that provide that the customer will enter into exclusive negotiation with the vendor for a certain number of days. Nakapaloob dito yung allocating costs and expense, indemnification for representation, restatement of party, and confidentiality and obligation. So, nandito yon. So, common strategy. It's either ba the negotiation will be announced via internal announcement or via formal announcement of rest. So the follows well examples ng evaluation of vendor proposals relating to provision of PPO services. Sample criteria are vendors' resources, global presence, experience in customers' industry, previous experience with customer, financial consideration, service provided, human resource, and terms and conditions. So, mga examples lang ito. And letter of intent. So, that's all for today, and that ends my discussion.